All right, you let me know. Are we live?
Let's see. I'm gonna refresh your page.
Let's see. Are we
Yes,
live?
yes, we
Are we
are.
live? And can you hear us?
Let me see.
Can we be heard?
Yes, I can hear us both.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, here we go. One, two, oh, and three.
And we back,
Yeah, yeah. And we back, and we back, and we back, and we back, and we back. Yeah, yeah.
and we back, and we
Thinking
back.
Out Loud podcast. It's your boy Shay Lip,
Hey, and we
featuring Mrs. Lip. TOLPcast.com. You know what this is, and you know who I am. Excuse me for a little bit of the startledness, as this is something that's new for us. We doing milestones, baby. We reaching next levels. So we got the little sound effects in the background. Man, it's amazing, and I deserve a hand clap. And let me make sure I know what the hand clap button is, so I don't mess it up. Hold on one second, audience. Clap for me one time. Yeah. All right, and I see we got in the building my little sister Misha King. Love you, baby. What's up, Mish? We also gotta get Kobe Glenn, KG. Shout out to you, homie. Love you, bro. And then finally Aaron Dillard in the building. My little man, this the homie from the homie from the homie. This is back in the days of youngins playing football, you know, the Falcons and all that type of silly shit. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for joining in right now. We getting it in. As usual, this is the bullshit that you can't talk about at work, but you can talk about it right here. So with that being said, again, one more time for the applause. I like that. And I want to know, and actually, I want to know, and I know the audience wants to know, who am I talking to, Mrs. Lip? Who are you?
This is Mrs. Lip. 8 big old long years
Eight
of
big old
being Mrs. Lip.
Big O, why they gotta be big O? You know I'm sensitive on my
Hey,
size.
I don't know. I don't know why, but I feel like married years are longer than regular years.
Well, we gonna get to that. I see Maxine joined in. Maxine, we thank you. Another congratulations. Oh my God, this time let's get it, Maxine. With that being said, we're gonna jump into these topics and get it in because we know people's time is sensitive. It's 6:17 in the PM. We supposed to start at 6:00 in the PM, so we gotta
Oh well.
consolidate. So
Oh
with
well.
that being said, the timer has started, and here we go. First topic I want to talk to you about is as far as the culture is concerned, and you know what I mean by culture. As far as the culture is concerned, what do you feel about these news releases about these Trump infidelities that's going on in our presidential candidacy of, you know, the Donald Cheeto Trump and his son having these issues with affairs with, you know, porn stars and, you know, Aubrey O'Day from
I know.
whatever bad boy group she was in. What was that? What was that group she was in?
It's like they don't even consider her as part of that group. They just call her like apprentice star.
What up,
Yeah.
Caleb? What up, baby? Go ahead, baby.
I mean, I guess when it comes down to it, aside from her being on The Apprentice and being on Diddy's show or whatever, people don't even know where to place her, and she's not even relevant anymore. So they gotta like
Exactly.
dig it up from somewhere, I
And
guess.
a good point that was made by my man KG. He said, if it was former President Obama, man, oh man, you know what?
Oh my
It
gosh.
once was President Bill Clinton who had an affair, and they dragged that motherfucker through the coals. They
Yes, they
said,
did.
we're about to impeach you for lying. Monica Lewinsky deserves respect. Debatable. But regardless, they were ready to throw him through the coals. They were ready to throw him out of the office. And it was really for the line, but we know at the end of the day it's because the president that represents the country is doing some shady shit, and that's not really a good look for us internationally,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And now your son getting caught up with Aubrey O'Day from, what was it, Day 26, Danny Kane, I don't
Whatever.
even, whatever.
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 I guess the biggest issue that I have with this, because I mean, in all honesty, with him as a person, I could care less. But
Ooh.
with him being our
Say it one more
president,
time. Him as a person, you could do what?
I could care less. I could care less. But with him being our president, what I continually struggle with is his behavior makes it difficult for us to maintain any kind of standards when it comes to policing our president and really being okay with him representing us.
Absolutely.
Every time his name comes up, it's something that, due to the context, has been something we have not seen from a president. Even with Clinton, they not only did they drag him, but they put him in front of cameras constantly and kept bringing it up.
Say it again with the horns.
With this president, it's like, what can we even do about it? Like, I feel like we can't even do anything about it, because he's barely been in office for a year. It's been like a year and a half, just about.
Yeah.
And just every single day, it's something different with this guy, and it's like becoming a new normal for us, because it's just always something. We have to acknowledge that he's our president, but he is also a reality television star, and he's playing that up, and so is the media.
You know what? And for what you said, KG has something to say. He said we need to clap it up for you one time. He said she is stating all facts. So with all that being said, I pipe down. With all that being said, we need to acknowledge again, moving forward, that it is what it is. You got to get a man his time, blah, blah, blah. He's going through his own bullshit. No one really cares. It's all a distraction. That's how I personally feel. It's really a distraction. You got cabinet members getting thrown out left and right. You know, you got Omarosa about to write her book. I almost called her Ponderosa because, you know, that's just too close of a name. You know, we got Ponderosa about to throw out the book. You know, you got Stormy Daniels, the porn star, going to do her book. So everybody going to eat good off of Trump, including Trump, but he's going to eat the best because he's setting it up for his success. And I also want to thank BG for joining in. My boy BG back from Michigan State, and Brittany Smith, thank you for joining us. So with that being said, let's move on. Now, equality of Me Too. And I know this is a sensitive topic for you because knowing you for 8 years of marriage, you feel a certain type of way about your femininity and your rights as a strong black woman. And so with that being said, I want to ask you a question. There were 2 instances that occurred recently. There was a Katy Perry incident on American Idol where she forced a young man to kiss her who said, I do not want to kiss a woman who I'm not in a relationship with. I'm saving myself my virgin lips for the lips of those who deserve it, which is going to be my person, my rib, in the words of Kevin Hart. And he said that, and she still says, you know, come here. He gave her a kiss on the cheek, then she turned her head to give him a kiss on the lips, and he fell down to the ground like, oh my God, like, you know, she took it from me. She took it, you know what I'm saying? And to me, that's a problem because there's a double standard there. Because if, what's my man's name? What's the hello?
Hello.
It's me you're looking for. What's my
man's name? I
man's
just want
name?
you to keep singing. I just want you to
I'm not. What's his name, babe?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. I see his face, but I know who you're talking about.
Oh my God. Yeah. The girl, the best friend with Perez Hilton and Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie, Lionel Richie. So Lionel Richie, if he was to grab a girl and be like, "Oh, you ain't kissed nobody yet? You ain't kissed nobody yet?"
Yeah. No.
So
it would have been a big issue.
It would have been a big issue, but it wasn't because it was Katy Perry kissing a boy, and then you also got Iggy Azalea online talking about the fact that she destroyed her own partner's belongings, cut up his clothes, messed up his house, blah, 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 blah. And I'm hearing these things and I'm thinking, like, if it was a dude that ran up in his girl's crib, started breaking all of her stuff and tearing up her clothes, I mean, you gone. You gone. And then we got to give a... We gotta do that. It's all negative. So, with that being said, why is it that the Me Too movement, the Time's Up movement, where are y'all, you and them, at when it comes to this? When it comes to women on male type of egregiousness?
I will say this. I think we have to keep in perspective that these are 2 white women in mainstream media who are getting away with this. I think you'd be hard pressed to...
Is it still politically correct to say white, or do you... just want to make sure I know the rules, because you're
I don't really care about
colonizer. Or go ahead.
No, I think that is wrong. Okay. I think it is unfair to call all white people colonizers.
Okay, all right.
But
that's one opinion.
I will, for the sake of perspective, say that we do have to recognize that these are two white women who have taken liberties with people and things that do not belong to them. And I think it's a trend in our country that white women get away with shit. They do.
Yeah.
And saying they can drag me about it if they want to, but I'm sure there are plenty of instances that we can.
Sorry. You dropped the bomb on that. One more time. Say what you just said.
White women get away with shit in America.
Okay, and
they
then
just do. So I think with this, I mean, with the Katy Perry situation, that's out and out wrong, and I really hope there's more conversation about this in the media. I hope it comes up more, because if somebody says to you, because you're in a position of power, I think we got to keep that in perspective too. She's in a position of power on that show to help determine the fate of these people who want to practice their talents. So if she's basically insinuating that if you don't do this for me, I'm not giving you the golden ticket, sounds like sexual harassment.
Now I will say this, and to KG's point, Kobe, I appreciate you saying that. That's what she does at all her shows. In all fairness, but in all fairness,
just because she does it consistently does not make it okay. Okay?
KG,
that doesn't make it okay. If somebody does not want to kiss you, period, whomever you are, if somebody doesn't want to kiss you, they shouldn't have to,
right.
And they shouldn't have to be concerned about repercussions for not kissing you.
I got you.
Period.
All right, and that's valid. We agree on that. Quid pro quo.
That's exactly what it is.
So, with that being said, we got to jump into the main topic so that we can get you ready for your, what do we want to call this? The IG Live, your Everyday Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Instagram at TL Yarn Crafts. You can catch Mrs. Lip, the Trap Queen, doing her thing when it comes to crafting. And what's tonight's topic?
Tonight's topic is 7 tips for selling digital products.
There we go. With that being said, we're going to transition one time, so I just want to thank you for the conversation thus far. Which you can't hear right now, which is the applause. We're going to go ahead and do this. There's been a lot of interest, I'll say, as far as talking about you and I and what we do and who we are. We just celebrated, an 8-year marriage anniversary?
8 years.
8 goddamn years. Just my glasses. 8 years of marriage, which we have been through this shit for so long, and we've been friends longer than that, and we've been boyfriend, girlfriend, and all that stuff, and now we're at a point that I feel like we bridged the gap where if we was going to break it off, it would have had to have happened by now, because it's too late.
We in it now. We
dead ass. So
yeah.
with dead ass being the topic, I want to ask you, how do you feel about the 8 years? How do you feel about bridging that gap and us celebrating that together? Go.
I definitely think it takes a while for you to hit your stride with the marriage. I mean, everybody's got their honeymoon phase in the beginning, and I think particularly with our situation, having never even lived in the same city while we were in a relationship, we dated long distance, got married long distance, moved in with each other in a state neither of us are from. Like, that was a huge leap of faith, I think, us getting married in the first place, and then just continuing to, foster this relationship through all the ups and downs. I mean, it's
well, we deserve an applause. We deserve an applause for that.
The perks of getting married is having someone who has your back when you go through all those things. A healthy and happy marriage, at least. That's what it's supposed to be, because there have been issues on both sides, both with us as a couple and with us individually. And I'm grateful to have had somebody who has my back. The way you do.
Oh yeah. See, and that's why I oftentimes, whenever we post stuff and we share things with the people, I always tell y'all, she's the shooter. If you come at me, she got the concealed carry. She's the shooter. Okay, she ain't just shooting pictures. She putting them hot ones in you, because she got me like that, and vice versa. But it's not politically correct for me to say that I would shoot someone because I'm black and I'm a young man, and
be careful.
I gotta be careful. So I won't shoot anyone. I got a slingshot.
Please don't.
It's got a Nerf Nerf gun.
Don't even. You have zero weapons.
Okay,
There
well,
are no weapons here.
okay, no weapons, but you're still the shooter. And so with the
Yes.
8 years, the ups and the downs, how do you navigate that when it's something that you don't have to deal with? When it's something that you could easily leave, because in American society we promote so much, you can just walk away at any time. Just sign a piece of paper and bounce when shit gets tough. How do you
Well,
deal
I
with
mean,
that?
I will say I'm a proponent of not staying in unhealthy relationships, but I think there's a difference between unhealthy and difficult.
So you would
Sometimes
say our relationship has been what?
our relationship has been challenging at times, but I think the positive and happy times far outweigh the difficult times, and I think it's a testament to us as the people that we are, that we stick through the tough stuff. Now, I mean, we haven't had issues of like domestic violence or anything awful, thankfully, but it's not been a walk in the park either. So
Right.
I feel, and I've told you this before, if you're in a just dating type relationship and it's not working out, that's why you date. Because if it's not working out, you leave. But once you make the commitment to get married, that's exactly what it is. It is a commitment, and it should not be nearly as easy to walk away from a commitment like that.
Hold on.
And
There were some gems that were just dropped. You said one more time before we let this go. Like,
when
okay.
you marry someone, it is a commitment.
Mm.
If you have even an inkling in your head that I might not want to stick this out, don't get married.
Got you.
Don't get married.
Got
Otherwise, you in it and do it.
Okay, so do you agree with the philosophy of basically how the government looks at it and says, if you're not married, you're single? Or do you actually give credence?
Absolutely.
So you...
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hold on one second. So you're saying that when you're dating, you're not in a relationship? You don't still have...
No, you're in a relationship, but you're not like, the commitment level is not there. That's the difference between being in a relationship and being married. You're crossing a line into full-on commitment. You're saying, I promise myself to you and you only forever and ever. You're making legal and emotionally binding promises when you get married. And I think it's important for us to respect that. And I feel like over time, just marriage does not get the respect that I think is due.
You know what? I got to give you a bond nigga for that.
Bond nigga.
With that being said, I want to jump into the last topic because I know that it's important for me to share with y'all that it's been over a year since we started the podcast. I fucked up and forgot to do an anniversary episode, but because we just celebrated our 8-year anniversary, just because we just celebrated that, and it deserves a bomb. Because we just celebrated that, I want to be able to jump into a topic that I know somebody close to me has asked about, and I know other people are interested in. You work from home. You're an entrepreneur. You are a business owner, correct?
Yep. Yes, I am.
We can look behind you and see that. Where are you at? In your studio?
I am working, yes, in my studio all day, every day.
So, there's a couple questions before we log off, before we get off of this shit and continue to enjoy the evening. How did you leave your corporate plantation? And by that, what I mean is, in the words of Dr. Boyce Watkins, everybody's working in a corporate plantation because we gotta serve a master, quote unquote, to get the ends that we need to survive. So with that being said, you took your talents away from South Beach and you came to Columbus and you said, I'm about to do the damn thing for TL Yarn Crafts. How did you leave that corporate plantation? 30 seconds.
I think it started with a mindset for sure. I fell in love with crocheting. I fell in love with being a business owner. I found my stride with my business about 2.5 years in, and that's when the first ideas of doing this full time kind of settled into my brain. There's a lot of people that I respect who are doing this full time, making a living. They even have families and they travel and they do tons of stuff. And I'm like, there's no reason I couldn't do that.
Okay.
And ultimately it got to a point with me working full time. I had some opportunities coming from my full-time job that would have moved me into a really great position. But like I said, TL Yarn Crafts is really catching its stride. And I was kind of in this place in the middle where I was like, okay, fork in the road. What are we going to do? And I had to decide, am I cool working this full-time job, getting this regular paycheck, but maybe one day regretting that I never got to be the artist that I wanted to be.
Okay.
And that didn't sit well with me. There's no amount of money that I could have made from a full-time job that would satiate the need that I had to express myself creatively. So it got to that breaking point. And I remember when we were having the conversation, like I kind of brought it up in maybe like August, and by September we picked a date, and then I quit in October. It moved very quickly once I really put it out there, because before that it was always like, oh, this would be really nice. But once I really had the conversation with you, it was like, okay, if we're doing it, we're doing it. There's no need to continue to drag it out. And that's exactly how it happened. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid. We just made it happen.
All right, so we're going to give you a... How has the transition been from when you started off doing it casually and working at the same time to now doing it full time? Every day you wake up, you have no place to be. You control your workload, you control your opportunities. How has the transition been?
Terrifying, to say the least. It is very... being the person that I am, who appreciates structure, who appreciates consistency, who appreciates a regular paycheck, it was definitely a jolt to my system. Like you said, to wake up and not have anywhere to be. Like those first few months, I felt like I was running around with a chicken with my head cut off. Like I was so in the weeds with projects and couldn't get right, and just everything was off. I had a ton of extra time, but I did not properly prepare myself for how to handle it. And thankfully that's worked out. I'm at a place now where I've better paced my work. I am taking on more and more opportunities, which is the whole reason I quit my job, to open myself up to those opportunities. And we're about 5 months in at this point being full time, and it's been the most exhilarating and terrifying. It's like a roller coaster. It really, really is. But I love it.
It ain't been exhilarating for me. It's been completely frightening, just as you said initially, to be the one that's the sole, I want to say, continual breadwinner, meaning the every 2-week paycheck. That plantation, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's kind of comfortable. It's kind of comfortable.
It is.
Master give you a nice little cot. You give you 2 hot meals. You get to lay down. He give me food. He give me sleeps. It's a good feeling. No, all jokes aside, it is a certain level of comfort that you have in the stability of having a full-time position. However, we had a conversation, multiple ones, where we decided that this is how we're going to navigate our life, and this is how we're going to make it so that we can have the happiest and best selves we can be for not only ourselves but each other. So
sure, yeah,
I feel like that's fair. And I feel like my last question, and this is again, shout out to the homie Rob D. Check him out on YouTube. That's my bro. He was the one that wanted to get kind of into the details, into the weeds of your business. I want to also ask one last question. How did you, and this kind of relates to the anniversary, it's our anniversary. Was kind of went out there and said, it's our anniversary. I wanted to ask you one time, how did you balance your marriage with your time spent working on your business? And this is kind of sensitive because we really went through it for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
We did.
So how did you balance that? And before you do that, let me just arrange your horns. Go ahead.
Okay. I will say part of the confusion that I had with running my business full time in the beginning, that was also coupled with the confusion of how to balance my work with my marriage. For those first few months, we definitely had some challenges because I was not fully prepared for what my new life would look like.
Right.
And I wasn't considering in those first few months that my time would really need to be spent on something other than my business. Like I went into it very foolishly, only focused on the fact that TL Yarncraft needs to succeed. Over time, I've come to understand that in order for TL Yarncraft to succeed, I have to keep myself healthy and I need to keep my marriage healthy. So I often will take breaks from my business. So I'll take a day to not crochet, or I'll take a day to not engage in social media. And I also had to make sure that I gave fruit and bread and life to our marriage as well, because you can't do it on your own. And I needed, every now and then I need that refueling of my tank as well. So definitely over time needed to create some boundaries between my business and make sure I paced my work to incorporate taking time away, which is really, really, really hard, especially when you're doing something that you love. So being able to say, like, today is me and babe day. It's Sunday. I'm not touching a hook. I'm going to put my feet up and we're going to hang out. And just really being intentional about how you're spending your time and making sure the people around you are fed. And it took some time to get there. It took some time to learn that, but I got it now. I got it now.
I guess the best takeaway is that it takes time to get to that point. From what you said,
it does.
You got to go.
It's nice.
A process. You got to.
It is a process, and I think it's important for us to give ourselves some grace and understand that you're not gonna like quit your day job and the next day be perfect at being an entrepreneur. It's a process. You have to learn it. So, gratefully I had a partner who worked through that with me. Sometimes we butted heads, but I think it all came from love. It was, we're not getting enough time together and now we're fighting and we need to figure this out. And we did, and it's been way better.
It's been all love. I want to again thank the people who joined in. I want to thank my homie Kevin Almonte, Jeff Morgan, the big bro, Mitchell Lipsy, thank you. I want to also just kind of open it up. Oh, I'm completely sorry. Again, that was a damn good, applause-worthy statement. And with that being said, I want to give you the last word as we go ahead and try to do this outro, and let's see how this goes.
Well, thanks so much for having me. As always, this is always so fun. We'll be back next Tuesday, of course. If anybody is interested, I'm going live on Instagram at TL Yarncast tonight to talk about 7 tips for selling digital product online. So that can be art printables, courses.
I'm so sorry.
What did you do?
It was a little.
You messed up my promo.
It was a little loud. Hold on one second. Let me get it decent real quick. Alright, so let's get the promo again. I don't have a sound effect yet for the rewind. I will next week, y'all, on TOL Podcast. Talk That Talk Tuesday. But we're going to try this one more time. Let them know, babe, your final thoughts on this episode. We went through a couple of things. What are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are, if you're going to get married, make sure you mean it and take the time to nurture that relationship. It will continually need your attention. And come find me on Instagram at TL Yarncrafts. Every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, I share small business advice, and you should check it out.
Okay. And with that being said, my final thoughts are this. Man, Trump and the Trump family, stop fucking with people who are going to destroy you, because you're going to destroy yourself. Stop it. Okay? Aubrey O'Day ain't worth it. Stormy Daniels ain't worth it. Okay? That's the first point.
Don't he have like 5 kids?
I don't give a damn if he got 15. The problem is you are still representing the royal family of the US of A, but that ain't the point. 8-year anniversary. Hold on. You made my damn sound effect go out. Hold on. All right. Final thoughts from your man J Lip. 8 years of marriage. It's been a blessing. I love my wife. This woman right here, I'm the shooter. Fuck with her if you want to. I'm the shooter, okay? And then in reverse, point to your right. Yeah, she the shooter. Yeah, she the shooter for me. Yeah. So, with that being said, this is Think It Out Loud Podcast. Your boy Jay Lip. Check out Tony's Instagram tonight. Instagram live at TL Yarncrafts. There ain't no .com. I don't know why I'm about to say .com, and I gotta repeat the damn outro again one last time. It's your boy Jay Lip. It's your girl Mrs. Lip, the trap queen, the independent entrepreneur, strong, beautiful black woman that she is. And
we out.
Holla. Hey, thank y'all.